Hey guys, this is my first time watching. Okay, let me restart. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome to my second ever reaction video. Today we're gonna react to Darth Maul, a Star Wars story by All That Jazz. I might put them in the description, I don't know, I probably will, or put the original video in the description if you wanna go watch it on your own. So, so, since this is my second, ever reaction video, if you have any things I should improve on, or I should react to, tell me in the comments down below. And hold on, future me, cut this out. I'm gonna show what I will rate this on. Alright, found it. Creativity, animation, so how smooth it is, realistic, how the bodies move and how they fall, how they run, cinematography, the camera angles, the lighting, video quality, and etc., and fight dialogue. Alright. I don't know if this can be cut or not, so whatever. Alright. So, let's get into this. I'll rate everything. I'll rate this animation on a bunch of different things that I might have listed off, might have not. They might have been cut. I don't know. So I'm gonna list it off on the end and then rate it. So let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let me turn up the volume. Classic Star Wars, a long time ago. Ooh, the sets are pretty good. I don't know who that Emperor Palpatine is. I'm guessing it's Carnage. Could be wrong, but whoever it is, they're pretty good. So far, the sets are pretty good. I haven't seen much of the animation, but it looks pretty good. Yeah, it's definitely pretty good with hand movements. Hand movements are easy, but still pretty good. The animation on that walking was a little weird. Still good, because walking is hard when you show the feet, but a little weird. Darth Maul. I could tell by some of the still frames, definitely inspired by Swag Wave. I like the binoculars, the binocular effect, especially with the green tint. That was pretty good. What I'm not liking, which isn't a big problem, I can deal without it, is seeing a house, like Maul being on his bed, and then there's like, I don't know, exercise equipment. I don't know what that is. He snapped his neck. I can deal with it, since other animators like Thundercat uses real house, but it's not ideal. Also, that force choke was pretty good. Those blast effects, even though it's drawn, is really good. I really like that. That was pretty creative. Using ooh. Okay, so he stabbed a guy, and then, I mean, as you guys may know, I worked on the fight on cinematography, no, choreography, I can't think, but I did not work on this fight scene. I only worked on 2, and so far, Jazz did a good job with using the force, to stab guys with their own weapons, and then pulling down a ledge or some kind of decorative thing in the building, which was really good. Also, using that to block blast effects, which is really good. I can definitely see the inspiration from Leo, and I think he might have learned that the glowing thing from Spider Dude Productions. That's the first time I've seen that, and I haven't seen it. I mean, I've seen it since then. That like slide he did was pretty good.
You'll have to be quicker than that.
Just like that meme, you have to be quicker than that. Hopefully you get that. If not, then that's awkward. This was the fight I worked on. And then another fight. That was pretty good, but I wish his arms would move more, because that's what I pictured when I wrote it, like going like this as he blocks kicks instead of just going like this.
Watch your footing. Watch your back.
Okay. When I wrote that line, it sounded pretty epic or pretty badass, but that sounds really cool with the voice actors.
I'm serious. I'm here to kill Senator Haldor. I was about to retrieve the Master Key when you so politely got it for me. Seems as if we have a common goal. Are you proposing a partnership? I'm afraid we'll have to decline. I don't split the profit on a job I could easily do by myself. I'm not interested in money. You can keep your
I like the use of like this paper material for the ground. It's pretty good. Brings you into the scene. But one thing I don't like, again, is seeing his house. It kind of brings me out of it. If you've seen Hope vs. Abomination, one complaint was Bruce's voice acting, that it brought the audience out of the scenes, and I feel seeing Jazz's real house, it's bringing me out of the scene. Maybe it's just me, but I don't like it.
Be mindful of your viewing state. Sense turmoil within you.
I'm sorry, Master Wood. I know it should be more calm and centered, like you taught me. But center only has always been a good
The use of like fabric, the sounds pretty good. I don't know if he recorded it himself or got it online, but it's pretty good.
What is it, Master?
I've never sensed such hatred, pure, utter darkness.
That's a good shot.
The assassin.
Good choice of music.
Jedi?
That's no Jedi. The Senator.
Good. I can handle this trailer.
I of course knew of that writing this scene, but that was pretty surprising to watch.
Give up?
You wish.
That's so good. Ooh, I like the mix of colors. Like, I don't know if he drew like this purple on it, or it just mixed and made a purple, but it was pretty good.
Master Wood.
Voice acting is pretty on point, I'd say. nice.
Damon,
I loved writing this scene. It was probably the one I had the most difficulty on, you know, trying to find what to do, but it was really fun. Gruesome.
this was fun. Hey, we should do this again sometime.
You will not speak a word of what you've seen here.
My lips are sealed. I can tell that your master is going to be very pleased.
That animation was a little janky, to be
What did
honest.
you say?
Your master says he sent me to ensure that you don't become an asset to the Jedi. But you did great, so there is no need.
My own master.
I look forward to working with you again, Lord Maul.
Just seeing his head on the ground.
I assume the senator is dead. Good. I have a new assignment for you. You will go to Viceroy Gunray on the moon. You hired an assassin to kill me. So you saw him. How disappointing. Indeed, he was there and told me all about how he didn't trust me enough to kill 2 Jedi. So you let him live. A witness. Yes, you hired him. He already knew about us. I thought thinking is not your job, boy. My instruction.
The dialogue,
Is it?
gotta say, pretty on point.
Fall alive knowing our secret. I'm sorry, my lord. Forgive me. You have shown a great deal of disobedience today. You will learn your place, but until then, you will experience pain.
Oh,
Please.
Force Lightning? I'm not a big Star Wars fan, so I don't know if it has a specific name. Palpatine was pretty intimidating. Jeez, I didn't think Jazz could do that, but he did a good job. He did a really good job, I'd have to say, with voicing Maul. Okay. Then Carnage was Foss, not Maul. Yeah, I thought that was Star Wars Collector. I don't know who Thomas Wynn is, no offense to him, but I don't know who he is, so. Years later. Is that? No, never mind. It kind of looks like the Earth, just different colors.
Why are you here?
Every Inquisitor that has come to Dathomir has not returned. The Emperor has thought it best that I deal with you myself.
I didn't expect Vader at all. You know, that was a surprise and a really good one. And whoever voiced Vader did a good job. because I don't know, it could have been from a movie, but it sounded really good if it was a real person, and that has me a little hyped for the second one. So time for the rating. Let's see. Here it is. Okay. Creativity. I mean, there's not much to be creative about since it's an established thing, and it's not like it goes far. I mean, I don't know much about Maul, not being a big Star Wars fan, so I can't really have much to say on it. But from what I know, what I think I know, this doesn't go far off from the source material. So creativity, it's not bad. It's not amazing either. And I'd say, in the first fight scene, he's pretty creative, using the Force to have guys, stab themselves, well, not stab themselves, but have their own weapons be turned on them, and then stab them. He was creative with the set in the first one, having the thing, I say a lot, don't mind it, but the ledge, or whatever you call it, the decorative thing for the building, when it was pulled down, and it crushed, I believe it crushed some guys, and I mean, it's not like the most creative thing, but it's creative for a set, since most people wouldn't have thought of doing that, or wouldn't have done that themselves, taking the time to do it. It's just creative, out of the box. You can, so animation, and why did I say it like that? Where'd my water go? Okay. Animation. I'd say it's pretty smooth. Not like amazing, not like Leo Legendary or War TV, or even Swagwave, which are all, pretty smooth and realistic. But Jazz did a good job with the smoothness. It didn't come back at all. Well, it did, but not that much. He's pretty consistent, especially with the fights. He definitely took his time. I can tell just watching, and I know from him telling me, he took his time animating these fights. Pretty good. Just a regular dialogue and anything other than that. Animation's pretty smooth. Not the best, but alright. Realistic. So I'd say pretty realistic. There was a couple of shots that stood out to me, specifically at the beginning. Let me try to look. I think it was when Maul was walking away from Emperor Palpatine after they taught. It might have been that, or when he enters this like base. I don't know. Somewhere in the beginning, somewhere in the first like 4 minutes. That stood out to me. It was very jagged and not really realistic. But for the most part, it was pretty realistic. Especially during the fights. I think I did a good job. Not to pat myself on the back, but I'm gonna pat myself on the back. I think I did a good job making the fight scenes realistic, and he did a good job animating them realistically. But Dryden, I'm just gonna call him Voss, because that's what Jazz told me to call him. When Maul was kicking, trying to kick at him, and Voss was blocking his attacks with his arms, that was very stiff, and he didn't really try to move his arms, try to calculate or predict where his kicks were gonna land, so he just kind of kept them there. That didn't seem realistic to me. But that's about it with the fight scenes and pretty much the whole film itself. But it was one thing I specifically remember being very realistic. It's not anything big, like say the Legendary having the clone troopers on that wire. That was pretty realistic. It's not nothing like that, but something that I don't see many people being able to do well. And that was the motion of when Maul slid across the ground after this like base thing. I didn't really pay attention, to be honest. First, I didn't remember if it had a name, but I'm just gonna say the Senator's house. I think it's the Senator's house. Could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But after he slides out the door, that was pretty realistic with the motion. You know, it's like a car. Let me grab this car. So, when you have a car, it speeds up and it speeds up and it brakes. So when it starts to slow down, it's going in fast, and then it goes slow, and then to a stop. That's what Jazz did. He had it slow. Well, he had it at a fast motion, going like this, and then as his momentum started to slow down, you know, it slowed down, and that is something I do not see many people pulling off well. So props to Jazz for doing that. All right, cinematography. So cinematography, camera angles, pretty good. I don't have anything to complain about there. Lighting was alright, not the best. But alright. It was definitely looked at times like it was filmed in with a lamp, which using a lamp isn't fine, but like a house lamp. Not like a dental film lamp like that. or reading lamp, whatever you call it. I use it for filming, so I just call it a film lamp. But in scenes where Maul was using his binoculars on Jeff's bed, it didn't look that well. It looked like he just he closed his blinds and then he shut his lights off. Which, I mean, how are you gonna get, a dark lighting anyways, so, but if he would have filmed at night, would have made it better. I don't know if he didn't, or if he did, but it just looked like he filmed in the middle of the daytime, you know, just close his blinds, shut off the lights. So that's really only the real problems I have with the lighting. I think I did see like a little glare coming off from the boxes in the hallway fight, which is about it, and he can't really control that, so nothing against him. Maybe if he used cardboard boxes, like regular plain ones, maybe it could have changed. Excuse me, I think I have the hiccups or something. Video quality. The video quality wasn't that good, and that has little to do with the lighting and just the camera. With the lighting, you can improve the video quality, so there's that. Then the camera has its own thing that will, you know, you saw those little dots moving around, like it looked like static. So there's that. And you can also change that in stop motion studios, which is definitely what he used. It definitely looked like he was using just a regular iPhone. So there's that. Then you can also mess around with the settings, the camera settings in stop motion studios, and you can fix that. So that is something he will have to experiment with on his own time. I don't know why I said on his own time. It's not like I'm forcing him to do this or anything. But one thing I had a problem with was the focus. The focus on the figures weren't the best. And no offense to him, but it reminded me of Universe 4 Studios. Although Jazz did not focus as bad as Universe, which Universe definitely has to improve on. Again, no shots to either of them, but that's just I find examples to bring up, and yeah. But the focus on the figures weren't that good. Close-up shot wasn't that focused. That far away shot wasn't that focused either. So messing around with manual focus instead of audio, or something, one other type of focus. I forget what it's called, but instead of using those, then it auto focuses and auto does all this stuff for you. You should manually do it and mess around with the settings, and that would have made the video quality a lot better. Sets, like I said, were, I mean, they were good, especially during, I'm just gonna call it the Senator's house. I could be wrong. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. But the Senator's house, pretty good. I liked the white foam he used. And in that final battle with the hallway and that room, with props and just the whole setting, pretty good. It really put me into the scene, put me into the action. It was all really good. But in the beginning, I'd say the first half of the video, first like 8 minutes, besides, well, even the scene with Emperor Palpatine, you can see some in Jazz's house, which, like Hope vs. Abomination with Optima Opt, I'm just gonna call him Opt, his voice acting, again, no shots towards him, but the voice acting, and that kind of brought me out of the scenes, which is on our faults for not directing up that much, which we could have fixed. And like with the sets, Jazz can fix not showing his house so much, which is fine showing your house, because in a stop motion I'm working on, I mean, I don't have enough boxes and buildings and just enough stuff to really block out my house. And having your house doesn't necessarily make you go out of the scene. Like people like Thundercat and Marquez Films, I see part of their house in the stop motions, and it's fine. Maybe that's because their stop motions are a lot more grounded, a lot more earthly. I don't know if it's that, and that's why it doesn't bring me out of the scenes. But for Maul specifically, it just brought me out of the scenes, and I didn't really care for seeing his house. And I don't like showing. I didn't like seeing his bed. I don't know. It's nothing. I don't know. It's not like I find his bed gross or anything. It's just brought me out of the scene. Like, Maul is on this soft, squishy ground. I don't know. It's a minor complaint. It's a nitpick. You know. Just next time, I'd like for you to work on the sets, work on hiding your house. And next is dialogue. Alright. I'm sorry. Dialogue, really good. Really good, especially during Palpatine. Since I think him and, what was it? I forget the names, since I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. But the guys, jeez, let me pause that. But the guys, Maul and Voss were fighting. They had the most lines, I think, and they did they were pretty good. The dialogue with them was pretty good, and especially with Palpatine, really good. I was very intimidated. I felt the fear, I felt the emotion, and that's partly to do with Jazz's voice acting, but also the dialogue. The dialogue was very well written, very well paced, and just very good. Maul didn't have that many lines, I think, in the end, and with Palpatine and the fight scenes, that was the most he spoke. I could be wrong, but I think that's the most he spoke. I know I wrote it, but in the fight scene where after Maul assassinates someone, I guess, I don't know. I'm forgetting just speaking right now, but after he assassinates someone or two people, I don't know, and Voss chases after him, you know, they have Voss and Maul have this little dialogue where what was it, like, Voss, I think it was, watch your footing, and then Maul goes, watch your back, which was pretty cool, and fit Maul, from what I know of Maul, and I really like that, even though I wrote that, again, not to toot my horn or pat myself on the back, but I think it was done well. And that's about it. Oh, the pacing on the pacing felt pretty weird to me. Like, it was just 3 fights in a row, which the first two made sense. You know, kills these people, Voss chases after him, they fight, you know, made sense. Just made sense, and, you know, very well paced, but it went from Maul and Voss teaming up, which was fine, definitely fine, but then it immediately went to the hallway fight, which, I don't know, there could have been something in between that would have made the pacing better. And again, well, not again, but him doing a 17-minute film around that, you know, he might think, you know, this is enough already, I don't want to add more, which I totally get, but, you know, on a story perspective, it was too fast. It went from point A to point B real quick. And, you know, there should have just been something in between. It could have been 20, 30 seconds. Probably would have fit much better than it did. But other than that, you know, it fit very well. That is the only thing I had wrong with the pacing. You know, went from fight 1 to fight 2, really good. Hallway fight to Palpatine and Maul talking, really good. There's something in my eye. And I'm just gonna say the choreography is really good, really well animated, because I wrote it, so I'm not gonna toot my own horn and talk about something I wrote. I'd rather talk about something I didn't write. So that's all I'm gonna say about the. Jeez, didn't mean to do that. That's all I'm gonna say about the choreography. So, I'm gonna give this. I might have been a little too generous. No. The last reaction, I was fine. Since it was very, low down, a very relaxed video. But for this, since it's a film, an actual film, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for the writing, animation, all that stuff, you know, dialogue. Really good film. I might put this in my favorite stop motions playlist. I definitely like this, but I don't know. I'll have to decide later if it's going in my favorite playlist. And if you get in my favorite playlist, that is like a gold buzzer. So, that is all I gotta say about this. Good job, all that jazz, for making Darth Maul. It was really good. I really recommend you guys watch it on your own time. If you haven't, I'll leave a link in the description to his original video, and if you guys have any videos I should react to, tell me down below. And if you have any suggestions on what I should do, I'll do that. And by the way, gotta say, since we hit over 250 subscribers. I know it's not a lot, but as a celebration, I'm gonna do a stream. I'm thinking Saturday, 8:30 or 9:30, 8 to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I do a stream where I react to videos like this, not as in depth, or just any videos you want, anything like that. Or also we do a Q&A, you know, leave questions down below you'd like to ask me, or during the stream, and well, you guys can tell me at a time that's good for you, and we'll work something out. Add me on Instagram. Thank you for putting my Instagram in the credits. Yes. So follow me on there, talk to me on there, and all that. So thank you for watching. Go subscribe to all that jazz. Go follow him on all the social medias. And yeah, peace, or something like that.